Okay, everyone, it's Steve back again. This is like a part 2 on the hydraulic pump video that I did earlier. I told you I was going to take the drive gear off the end of the pump, show you what was underneath. That's that little bitty half moon key I was telling you about. Half moon key goes on top of the shaft there. I think you can see it. If you'll look, let me grab a rag here. If you look around that shaft, you can see a seal. This particular seal is an old Chicago rawhide leather seal. It's got a good number on it. You can still get a crossover on that seal. I get all my seals, believe it or not, from O'Reilly's. It's not that hard of a deal. Sometimes it takes a little effort, but they've always managed to come through. My local O'Reilly's has, and they're not any kind of sponsor or anything, don't get me wrong. They're just a good bunch of folks here in my hometown. All that is held together with that little wire clip. Get up there. There's a driver. There's the keyway. If you notice all that oil, the oil is there because the seal's bad. Now, getting that seal out of there is your challenge. You're obviously going to destroy it to get it out. So first, write your numbers down, put that aside someplace, because that seal is going to be a mess when you try to get it out of there. Putting it back in, pretty easy. I always use a socket, a deep well socket, basically the size of the seal, the outside diameter of the seal. Get some grease up the shaft, grease the seal. Take your time, drive it in straight. I'm not going to pull this one out of here and put a seal in it because I'm fixing to throw the pump in the scrap pile. It's the exact same deal with this pump here. Same scenario. Once you take the driver out, you have the same, there's a shaft in behind here that the screw drives into, and there's a seal under that. I want to clarify something that I've said here a few minutes ago. This is the distributor end of the pump. You've got a block several inches long. It's a distributor driver, and your distributor goes into the distributor driver and onto the pump. I thought I was saying earlier that the distributor goes here. It does, in a matter of speaking, but it's kind of a three-piece situation. I'll show you here on another tractor. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll walk over here, and I'll kind of clarify it. You can see what I'm referring to. In this instance, M&W pump, on this vertical distributor, you have a distributor driver. Then you have the actual distributor itself. In this case, it's a Delco vertical on this H. Since the principle is the same, on the horizontals, you have another block that sits in here, and the distributor goes in horizontally into the distributor block driver, whatever you want to call it. This particular pump here is the one exactly like the one we just tore down over there. It's adapted down for an H. On that particular pump that we were looking at just a few minutes ago, you've only got the plate on the end of it for the M. This particular one's on a H Farmall. I mentioned in an earlier video, excuse me, that this particular tractor, because of this pump taking up so much room, you have to go to a vertical distributor to make all this stuff fit in this little bitty space. So hopefully that clarifies or give you enough confidence to tear into that pump there. Just as I mentioned earlier, when you take the seal out, be careful not to scratch the shaft. Don't get overzealous with it with hammers and chisels and screwdrivers and picks. Don't get overzealous and scratch the shaft or scratch the housing on the outside diameter. All right, we'll try to do another video here shortly. Thank you. Come again.